Good morning, everybody. This is Christy. I am the Intimate Warrior. I thank you so much for stopping by, and as always, I send you love. This video is going to go along with the video I made yesterday in regards to April the 9th, which is today, and how I ended up speaking about a spiritual reset. I ended up making a post, though, on my social media pages. And I ended up saying within that post that this reset, this do-over, this washing away of everything via Noah's Ark and the Great Flood, which I briefly mentioned again in my video that I uploaded about the 9/9 portal that was open as well, that you can call this, or it can resemble or be similar to how we celebrate the new year when we are making all of those resolutions. And for the most part, a lot of us end up only sticking with our New Year's resolutions for the first couple of weeks out of the year. Now here we are, we're creeping up on the Aries New Moon, which is in 2 days, April the 11th. Now because of course, the messages that I am given, that's all that I really know about. Until I go in, of course, do some research on my own, and link them together. Unless I'm giving it, I have to do the research, is what I'm trying to say. So I don't know everything about astrology. I don't know everything about the stars. I've always been fascinated with the stars. Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. Today, and it's about to be 9:09 here, where I am, on April the 9th. Today being the day that everything can be wiped clean, because of how 9 is the end of that cycle. Oh, wow. The new moon is going to be taking place on 9/11. April is a universal 9-month, and the date will be the 11th. That is a number I think I've made a video about. It's the number that is meant to really get your attention. Alert. Of course, we use it as the emergency number. But this is a time of nothing that is supposed to be feared. Nothing terrible is going to come out of the 9/11. Although we have had incidences that have taken place, an incident on 9/11 that took place here. This is not what it's about. There is nothing to fear in regards to those numbers. Let's always try to keep our mind on the prize. So when I put that phrasing in my video, or my social media pages post about, it seems to be similar like a New Year's resolution. Like, this is a time when the beginning of the year is always when we get to boop, reset, start over, which signifies that this is a turning point, because we have reached, if you are on this spiritual journey, you know by this time, being that it's really the astrological new year, this is when we're here because we have hit a milestone. This is a time when we have accumulated a lot of knowledge based on what is in the past. As a result of that knowledge, here's a milestone. We're ready for more, which means we're ready, and this is a turning point and a chance for us to accelerate. So now that Aries, of course, signifies the first sign of the zodiac, which is really the start of the 2021 astrological year, this is a chance for us to start over. It's in the ancient times, the farmers would plant their seeds under the new moon, knowing that none of the little critters would come out and dig up what they have worked so hard to plant. And so this is the time to really set that intention of, what do I want to fulfill for the rest of this year? What are my goals for the rest of this year? And kind of get clear. Although I know I keep a vision. I keep a vision of my future. I look on it from time to time, whether once a day, once a week, once a month, whatever it is, and then I just wipe it away. I don't focus on it every single day, all day long. That is, again, a type of need. I need to have it, and I need to have it now mentality. We don't want that type of mentality. We want to keep that dream, that hope alive without putting too much stress on it. I've come to kind of understand and realize that the more still that we can be in every single moment of our lives, the more that we feel the future that we are seeking, that we know is ours. Therefore, there's no real need to visualize all the time. There's no need. The more that we can stay present, we remove all types of resistance. The presence of being still tells the universe that we're not in a rush, that we are grateful for where we are, and that we are confident that because we know where we are and can find peace within this exact moment, that we definitely know our future is going to come to us when the timing is right. So I hope that you guys can get into that type of mentality of not always having to have such clarity on a daily basis, therefore your future. Because the more that you can just be still, enjoy every single moment, stay centered, the future that you are envisioning is always there. If everything that we want already exists because we're thinking it already, it must be so. It's just we have to get ready for it ourselves. So I hope that information kind of, my perspective on it, kind of helps you out in your journey here. Not to put so much stress on anything, whether in thought, emotion. It will always come to you when you are ready for it. And that's what every single moment is about. Teaching you, allowing you to learn your lessons within every single moment. And the quicker you can learn them, get back into love, what you are trying to manifest will be so. So the new moon in Aries, of course, is going to be supported by Mercury, Chiron, and Venus. Mercury is going to boost your communication, your ideas, and your visions. Of Venus is that sparkle. Venus is associated with our heart, pushing more love into all things. We know what Chiron is, that wounded warrior. So with Venus helping us get rid of some more of those wounds, it might be a little bit easier this go round for all of you. Jupiter is still in the mix, which is about more of that expansion. Pluto is also within this mix, and is going to kind of make you more aware of your lessons by pushing you and helping you step into your power. This new moon, of course, is going to affect Aries the most, Libra, Capricorn, and Cancer, but everybody is going to feel this. Those who are within this aspect of the sign have more of the lessons associated with it. Although all of us, remember, every single time, we all have the planets within us. We all have a lesson associated with the planets. We all have a cell salt that we must acquire per every astrological sign. So that's why it affects each individual one of us, regardless of when we are born. So I knew as the moon, Saturn, and Jupiter were in conjunct each other, that Mars was going to come into play. Because Jupiter, and I'm trying to get back to my diagram here, works with the right shoulder of compassion. Mars is going to work with the opposite side. And Saturn works with the left side of our brain, which is associated with understanding. So I knew as we were working with Jupiter and Saturn that Mars, the natural way is for Mars to take hold. Anytime we're more hanging towards the right side, there's a pull on the left side to keep us in balance and in harmony. That is the point of it. Now, anytime we have three things that hook up, a fourth will always accumulate. So we will be dealing with still Saturn and Jupiter. Now we have Mars that I knew was creeping up via the new moon in Aries, which is associated with Mars. Aries is associated with the hippocampus, which is a part of the limbic system. I've already mentioned, I think, in one of my videos about the limbic system, in one of my recent videos here. It comes from the Greek word, which is hippo, which means horse, campo, meaning monster, because it resembles a seahorse. The main functions of this center is for learning and memory. A lot of those who are deficient of this cell salt, especially a lot of Aries individuals, will have that memory issue or lack of memory, fogginess, confusion, Sometimes. Not every single person, of course. It all is dependent on each individual journey. Remember that. The hippocampus, of course, like I just said, is a part of the limbic system, which also is associated with feeling and reacting. If I hadn't already said that, it is associated with the fight or flight reaction. So if you deal more so with the ego and not the heart, this is probably the problem. The hippocampus also affects how we deal with our relationships in our lives. So, let's see, and I'm trying to. So you know that when we have the inability to properly think, this is why, again, that fight or flight scenario can come into play. We're thinking more so with fear or even more logic instead of tapping into the heart center. We are lacking empathy, social discourse. When we are unable to think properly, we are also unable to form proper expression verbally. Therefore, we are acting out instead of coming from compassion. We are more judgmental as a result. Lacking creativity, lacking in imagination, even navigation. So it is a huge area that, although the organ itself is very small in regards to everything else. So being that both Sun and Moon are in Aries, both of the soul and the spirit are both going to be amplified throughout this time. The moon works with the soul, the sun works with the spirit. Aries is associated with Mars. The Mars deals with our karma or karmic conditions brought through from previous lifetimes. It deals with the purification and elimination process, helping us to recognize all that has outlived its usefulness and holding us back. This pertains to our soul's will. And when we are thinking in terms of the salt, this is in regards to Kali Phosphorus. Or Kali Phosphate, excuse me. This element or mineral is a highly electrical element, and it's one of the most highest vibration of the elements that we require to attain throughout our sacred secretion and learning to become perfect within ourselves. When we have this mineral, we are able to attract. And it's the process of becoming human-based, dense, and turning into our crystalline light body. The minerals act like an attraction, an attractive device that, because we have all of these minerals, these crystals now within us, we are able to easily attract all of the goodness that the universe has for us. And I just lost my train of thought. It was there, now it's gone, as you can see. I got it back. I remember it. Here we go. If I don't forget prior to spitting it out now. When you're thinking in terms of the spinal fluid, this is a fluid similar to spring water. When you finally accumulate the 12 cell salts within your brain, because every time the moon is in your cycle, it's able to rise to the crown. If it is not killed off via the lower vibration emotions, it will rise to the crown and create a salt. When the salt mixes with the spring water, you create the ocean within us. So I wanted to just share that analogy there of what actually is taking place inside of us. And this is also why I ended up thinking, my mom is always saying I want to go to the ocean because I know it cleans me. I feel clean and refreshed and revigorated. And why so many of us, I think, are attracted to the ocean. It's because the ocean signifies the complete balance of what we are actually supposed to be within. All of the minerals, everything, all of those beautiful minerals are within the ocean. Crystals, rocks, life forms are there. And all of that should be within us as well. I don't want you guys to put so much pressure on yourself to know so much about the cell salts. Or how am I supposed to get there type of mentality? Because then you're more focused on the end result and you're not staying present. It's okay to do your research if that is what you feel the need to do, but let it go. But also be aware that in you doing research, your mind is going to be thinking about things, and you might not be aware of it. That's why, again, I explained early on in my process, I was taking in information over and over and over and over again for a couple of months. And I finally said, I realized, there's no point to this. I don't understand this stuff. It's very interesting to me. I'm taking tons of notes because things are standing out and I love what I'm hearing. But if I don't understand it, how do I make sense of it in my life? So I'm just going to do my best in being a good human being. And every time that I am fear-based or in doubt, worried, anxious, I'm going to come back to love. And love has always kept me guided. And then it's only been a month now or so here that I've been given information pertaining to the 12 cell salts. Every time that I need something, God is giving it to me to understand. This is what you have been doing the whole time. Now here's your gift. You know, what is the person who I forget what they're called. There's a word for it. You know, ignorance is bliss. And I guess I've had a form of ignorance about something. The topic about something, the understanding about something. But I have been applying it all along under one golden rule: love. That is the easiest thing for everybody to focus on. Love. And I know it's still hard. It's hard enough in itself to try to represent love. So if you're trying to learn and put so much emphasis on other aspects of your life, it can go against you, because now you're trying to apply other things that, if you only stuck to one thing, love, will give you the opposite thing that you're trying to acquire. So I hope that makes sense. And I really didn't want to go too much into that, but I think it's important because I've been now talking about the cell salts and how important they are. So basically, this new moon in Aries, being new moons always signify new beginnings, new opportunities, greater growth. But because now Aries is the beginning of the astrological year, boop, God has his hand. God has its hand. This is really hard, really difficult sometimes to source. Always has the hand within it and is pushing a reset button. It's time to start fresh. We wipe the slate clean from what we have previously done. If we don't like what is taking place, this is our beginning. And this is our chance to move forward and to do so as best as we can in love. This is Christy. Much love, health, and healing your way. I am bringing purpose to your life. Take care.